Why is Tesla collapsing? Tesla is struggling with declining profits and a Cybertruck that people aren't buying.
Unsold Cybertrucks and other models are actually collecting in a Farmington Hills.
How did the company go from revolutionary electric sports cars to vehicles sitting unsold, losing value faster than anyone expected? The story begins at the very start with a vision that was as fragile as it was daring. And honestly, once you learn about the origin cracks, today's crisis starts to look, well, kind of inevitable. The fragile beginning of Tesla is a story of belief colliding with reality. In July 2003, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning incorporated the company with the idea that they could change transportation forever. They weren't from Detroit, and they didn't operate a car factory. Their concept was to merge car making with computer technology at a time when most electric vehicles were dismissed as underpowered oddities with limited range. Eberhard and Tarpenning aimed for the opposite, a fast, stylish electric car that could compete with gasoline sports cars. What they lacked was straightforward money, infrastructure, and stability. Tesla's early path was precarious because every attempt to build a car company from scratch had ended in failure. In February 2004, Elon Musk stepped in by leading Tesla's Series A funding round, investing the majority of $7.5 million and becoming chairman of the board. That investment gave Tesla some breathing room, but it also shifted dynamics at the top. By late 2004, J.B. Straubel formally joined as an engineer, strengthening Tesla's technical side, yet leadership never fully stabilized. In 2007, Eberhard was asked to step down as CEO and officially left the company in 2008. Disputes over credit for Tesla's creation led to legal battles. A 2009 settlement allowed Musk, Eberhard, Tarpenning, Straubel, and Ian Wright to all be named co-founders, ending the courtroom struggle, but not the lingering rivalries. The product that kept Tesla alive through these conflicts was the Roadster. Built on a Lotus chassis and aimed at wealthy early adopters, it looked like a lifeline. But bringing it to market nearly destroyed the company. Manufacturing costs soared as suppliers treated Tesla as a high-risk partner, demanding cash up front. Prototypes faced repeated failures in testing, deadlines slipped, and by 2008 Tesla was on the edge of bankruptcy. Even employee paychecks were delayed at times. The company's survival was questioned openly in the press, while major automakers dismissed it as a boutique startup burning through money without a path to scale production. What made Tesla different was that it managed to secure backing when it most needed it. In June 2009, the U.S. Department of Energy approved a $465 million loan, providing critical capital that kept the company alive. By 2013, Tesla had repaid that loan in full, allowing its executives to present the company as not just a gamble, but a business capable of standing on its own. Publicly, Tesla polished its image as a unified, innovative force. Privately, the scars of its early fights remained visible in the company's culture of urgency and its unstable leadership style. Tesla survived its fragile start by combining high-risk capital, government support, and ambitious promises. But surviving and scaling were not the same thing. The real test would come when Tesla tried to transform from selling a niche sports car to building an affordable vehicle for the masses. And honestly, that transition would prove even more punishing. Tesla's next big test was the Model 3.
Tesla delivered its first Model 3 electric cars last night.
The car that was supposed to prove electric vehicles could be truly mainstream. On paper, the plan seemed straightforward. Sell high-end models like the Roadster, Model S, and Model X to wealthy buyers, then use those profits to build a more affordable car. The Model 3, announced in 2016, was the payoff to that strategy. When reservations opened, demand surged. More than 325,000 people placed deposits within a single week. For Tesla, it was proof of enormous public interest. For Elon Musk, it was a promise that had to be delivered at breakneck speed. That's when reality hit. Mass production didn't start until 2017, and the effort slipped almost immediately into what Musk himself later described as production hell. Tesla leaned heavily on automation, but the robots failed to perform as planned. Machines caused bottlenecks instead of speeding things up, leaving unfinished cars backed up in the factory. Workers were brought in to patch gaps, sometimes pulling double or triple shifts. Deliveries slid further and further behind schedule. By mid-2018, the pressure was crushing. Tesla was burning through cash, even as demand on paper looked stronger than ever. Investors kept their optimism for a while, pointing to those early reservation numbers as a sign the company was on the right path. But problems inside the factories were hard to ignore. Customers who had placed deposits waited months, sometimes years, for their cars. Reports circulated of panels that didn't line up, software faults, and inconsistent build quality. Inside the plants, management scrambled, moving stations, swapping equipment, and revising processes on the fly. Each tweak bought time but rarely solved the underlying problem. Then, in August 2018, a new controversy shook the company. Musk announced on social media that he had funding secured to take Tesla private. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission quickly intervened, accusing him of misleading investors. The case ended in a settlement that required Musk to step down as chairman, imposed new oversight on his communications, and cost both Musk and Tesla $20 million each in fines. It was a reminder that even as Tesla struggled to stabilize operations, its leadership was also under scrutiny for unpredictable decisions. Financial results added to the unease. When Tesla showed profits in certain quarters, much of the income came from selling regulatory credits to other automakers, not from sustainable car margins. Those credits gave Tesla temporary lifelines, but they also underscored how reliant the company remained on outside factors to stay in the black. The Model 3 did eventually reach mass production, and it went on to become the best-selling electric vehicle in the world for several years. But its troubled ramp-up revealed how fragile Tesla's path to growth actually was. Each technical snag, each delayed delivery, and each leadership crisis left scars that never fully healed. And those same weaknesses would resurface when Tesla turned its attention to a far more radical project. Tesla cast the Cybertruck as its boldest project yet, but honestly, the reality has been far less convincing. At different points, executives claimed anywhere from several 100,000 to more than 1 million reservations, and Tesla's design chief even suggested deposits could cover over 2 million vehicles. But, those reservations were just $100 placeholders, and the scale of actual deliveries has told a very different story. Tesla delivered roughly 41,000 Cybertrucks in its first full year, with the second quarter of 2025 showing only about 4,300 units reaching customers. The mismatch between headline reservations and real cars on the road is a sharp reminder of how hype can outrun execution. The reveal in 2019 was designed to shock. Under bright lights, the truck rolled out with flat steel sides, armored glass, and performance specs that, honestly, sounded more like science fiction than automotive reality. Tesla wanted the Cybertruck to look indestructible, yet the launch is remembered for a broken window. A steel ball smashed through the supposedly unbreakable glass in front of a live audience, creating the kind of viral moment most companies would dread. Instead, it actually fed the frenzy. Deposits poured in, but the low buy-in meant enthusiasm was easy to generate and, harder to measure in substance. Turning that spectacle into a vehicle took years. Production was delayed repeatedly, and by late 2023, when deliveries finally began, expectations had eroded. The initial wave of trucks came with prices nowhere near what had been promised at the reveal. Buyers were originally told to expect an entry model around $40,000. By launch, early foundation trims hovered around six figures, with even the less tricked-out versions far higher than the audience-friendly price Tesla had used to sell the dream. For many reservation holders, it was not just disappointment, but a feeling of bait and switch. Those who spent the money soon encountered problems of their own. The 2024 model year was hit with a string of recalls, 8 in total.
Cybertruck is really interesting that this is the 8th recall that they've done.
Okay,
including issues with adhesive failures causing trim panels to come loose, and reports of accelerator pedals that could remain trapped after being pressed. These were not minor complaints. They raised direct questions about safety and manufacturing control, creating the impression that the Cybertruck's unusual design had been rushed past the hard realities of quality control. The resale market added insult to injury. Used Cybertruck listings, even within the first year, showed value drops in the 30 to 45% range. What should have been sought-after early models were suddenly treated like liabilities, and the rapid depreciation rattled future demand. For a vehicle pitched as Tesla's ultimate breakthrough, buyers saw their investments vanish faster than almost anyone anticipated. The Cybertruck was promoted as the future of Tesla. Instead, it has become one of the clearest examples of the company's overreach. The lesson is straightforward. Big claims, weak execution, and widening gaps between promise and reality can erode trust almost overnight. And that erosion raises a larger question about whether Tesla's challenges are isolated stumbles or signs of weaknesses that were there all along. Tesla's history shows a company tested at every stage. Early governance struggles led to Eberhard's exit and eventual rescue by loans and Musk's capital. The Model 3 brought production hell, missed deadlines, and SEC scrutiny. The Cybertruck combined staggering reservation claims with high prices, recalls, and resale losses. Now the pressure is showing. In one recent quarter, Tesla's net income plunged nearly 71%. The image of invincibility has been eroded. What lies ahead is the harder work: restoring margins, building trust, and executing reliably. Which of Tesla's problems do you think is biggest? Governance, manufacturing, or product quality? Tell us why in the comments. Because when a company trades steady execution for spectacle, the market eventually tests the specs against the real world.